Welcome to my channel Tools for Ascension by Wolfgang. And my gift for you today is this guided meditation. I call it the rescue meditation. For those of you that are frazzled, that just had it, that just want to sleep the day away, that had it, worn out, spaced out, no energy. So this is for you. And first of all, a little talk about this whole situation, and then my guided meditation will start here at this time. So let's just look at the zeitgeist, what is surrounding our situation here. As they say, as above, so below. Well, you can also say, as around, so within. That is not only applying to your room and your car, how clean you keep it, how nicely is it organized, is it aesthetic, or are you kind of like living in a mechanic shop, or are you like a hoarder, with stuff just stuck everywhere. So, all these things affect you, but of course also the whole world situation affects you. I mean, we got several wars going on, and lots of jobs are challenged by AI, and inflation. Grocery shopping gets very expensive nowadays, and I do the shopping here. And, well, what else is there? Yeah. And so, of course, this whole world situation, is also inside. And basically, we are having a bigger influx of spiritual light, they say, from the center of the galaxy coming here. The Earth is kind of moving into an area where they get more of this center galaxy light. And these are the different yugas as described in the Vedas, for instance. But, the Maya, everybody, knows about it somehow. And so this increased light also affects the sun. And so there is statistically a lot of more sun flares and eruptions as such, solar flares, which all affect the psyche. And so also the earth energies are increasing like anything. And then on top of it, we also have astrological, or you could say astronomical alignments. For instance, at this time here, what's this? Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury, something like that. And then, of course, the more extreme planets like Neptune or Pluto. So all these things, even from an energetic point of view, not even talking about the interpretations of these forces through astrology, but just from astronomical points of view, there are huge fluctuations in the subtle energies that are affecting us. I mean, you just gotta face it. And so that, leads to, physical updates, in your physical body. And it's kind of when you increase the light, you can see what's going on in the darkness. So this is happening, whether it's, you call it the special EPP files or, hidden agendas, through the internet. These narratives cannot be controlled anymore, and so there's an explosion of knowledge now available to these generations here. And but the same thing, inside. So a lot of my clients, are forced to confront reasons, or to look for the reasons why there is so much suffering, why are there certain patterns, why they're stuck in their life. It's just they have to deal with it, and then of course we find sufficient evidence, for this reason. But again, like once you shine the light into the darkness, You start seeing what's going on, and it's not always pretty. And, they gotta clean this out. And then also, we have also pretty much increased. I mean, not through the last half years, but there is a lot of EMF pollution just on the normal people that have to work, they live in corporation. There is junk food. And then for a lot of population, there is pressure from the environment. I mean, when I hear the news and how people in certain areas have to drive through snow every day, risking their car, risking their life, and shovel out. And I mean, there's so much stress just in commuting, and of course then also, inhaling all the gas fumes and brake pad, dust and whatever else, and then inhaling also the dark emotions, on the highway, especially the traffic stop emotions. So there is a lot, that humanity is going through nowadays. And so you have many reasons for being frazzled. And so in general here, before we get into the meditation, a few drops of my wisdom. So, whenever you get kind of cranky and run down and so on, and just had it with the world, taking a nice bath, really helps. A nice hot Epsom salt, and I mean, there are other ingredients with some nice essences. If you have some nice music, have some candles, and, just this heat, gives you artificial fever, bacteria get knocked, viral get knocked out through this to a certain degree. You relax. And, I mean, you feel better. It's like a reset. I mean, it doesn't take, as long as you can run the bath and make it in there and don't burn yourself, you should be fine. But be careful afterwards, you might be dizzy. So just be careful. Now, if you don't have a bath, just take a hot shower. And if you can really hold it, do hot and cold, a couple of times, that will perk you up. And will also purify your force field. And then, if you can, if you're really wiped out, get out there in the sun or pop some vitamin D3. Research vitamin D3. I'm not a doctor or a nutritionalist, but there is a lot of research out there, So no sunlight, you get depressed. And so just sitting in the sun for 15 minutes, just getting your butt out there, will help a lot. And you might have to, chug a strong cup of coffee, to just get off the couch and get out there. But then, you it brings you over the hump. And in general also, I think that it is good in these depression times, if you can, if you have the ability, to have some kind of a healing music, in the background. Now, whether these are certain frequencies, healing frequencies for grounding, for upliftment, there's some stuff that's like, or, things that calm you down, whether it's nature's, nature sounds, ocean sounds, bird sounds, or Tibetan gongs, or crystal ball healings, or Vedic chants. There is a lot of good spiritual stuff out there. When you listen to it, it kind of has an upward movement, and you don't have to blast it, but it can be just slight in the background, to keep you kind of in a happier mood. And it makes it a little tougher, for darker entities, to bug you, because they can't tune those sounds out. They don't have a brain like we do. We have a dimmer that filters out all the unnecessary stuff. They don't. So then also now that, depression is always characterized by shallow breath. So being wiped out, means you have no life force. and even depression. You have no life force. Life is trapped. You have no energy. Negative thoughts, you're probably frowning like anything, which attracts more negative thoughts and wrecks your body. And, then also you have negative thoughts. Yeah. And, because you have low energy, you actually, even your perception is kind of dull. So once you start breathing deeper, you have more energy in your system, and and then you can do activities that are positive. Like doing the dishes, getting yourself dressed up, do the bed, clean up the clutter, pay your bills, and whatever else, or just go out and sit in the sun, or go out, and take a little nature walk to get back. And so managing, your exhaustion, so of course, it's a skill. It's a skill. It's a life skill. Knowing when to sleep and when not to sleep. And, I think cat naps are good if you can afford it. Short, half an hour or even 2-3 hours. But of course, you can't do this when you work in a corporate world, but as a free person, working for yourself, it's a good thing. Now, when we have certain energy levels, depending on our energy levels, there are countermeasures, to bring our energy up. So, for instance, when I'm completely wiped out, I cannot do a Kundalini yoga set or, do Kegels for 5 minutes. I just don't have it in me. I probably can't even do a Hatha yoga or do a self-massage. Maybe, I can just heave myself into the bathtub, right? So, but, once I have a certain energy level, I probably could, start doing some stretching, like some passive yoga, maybe some Hatha yoga, very slow, just using gravity, nothing too dynamic. And then once your energy levels are really up, then you can really do a Kundalini yoga set. And when that is really on, you can do maybe breath of fire combined with Kegels for a few minutes, and then you'd be flying high like anything, Kundalini running, smiling, etc. Oh my God, I'm starting to sweat now. See, just thinking about it. So, but this is, just to give you a kind of an overview, of what is going on, a little bit of my experiences, with low energy. But, here is my rescue. And my rescue, people call this earthing and grounding. And, kneip, means, you walk barefoot, on the grass, and of course there is an electron, exchange with your earth energy. I think it's about 4 volts different, being properly grounded and being isolated. And, you or your body is a electric machine, And all the chemical processes, not just the neurological processes, are based on ionization, on electron flow, all this chemical reaction. So the more electrons, kind of electricity you have, the better this seems to work. People with high life force, they have quite a powerful metabolism, for instance. Okay, so where are we here? So why the grounding? So I think the best model to visualize is because people cannot see the energy. That's the issue. You exchanging chi, life force, ki, prana, vril, organ energy. It's all the same thing with the earth. You could even look at the electron model. And it goes through your foot meridians. These are energy pathways, on the astral. This whole thing is astral. There are not chemicals involved, unless you walk barefoot in morning dew. So there are 2 functions when you connect with your Earth Mother. One is to clear out your old and stale and dark life force. This life force tends to be heavy and tends to sink down in your body, as well as also in your environment. It will be piled up on the floor. That's why it's not a good idea to sleep directly on the floor unless you energetically clean the floor. Unless you're in like two feet, half a meter of dark chi, for the whole night. So not a good idea. Of course, not in nature, but in a human environment. So, but the dark chi, which are dark emotion, which are kind of sluggishness somehow, can be discharged into the earth. So this would be kind of like the sewer system, your sewer system. Your dark emotions send them into the earth. So it is quite important to understand that dark emotions, are heavy and they tend to sink down in your body. Of course, anger is stored also in your liver and grief in your lungs. But still, I would say the stuff that's floating around tends to, again, pile up, in your legs. And once you start grounding and releasing this into the earth through your foot chakras and root chakra, you start feeling lighter, happier, and there's an obvious effect of having the cleanse. And the other function of earthing, it's like hooking up with the city supply system. It's like you get supplied by life, with life force through your legs and through your root chakra. Of course, you can also absorb life force from the sun and life force from the cosmos, but that's more advanced yogic stuff. The ABC is like from the earth. That's also the strongest, most compatible, with our physical bodies, and we should always be in harmony with the earth energy. Otherwise, let's say we lose contact with reality. That is one nice way of putting it. So, now, I suggest that you lay down and close your eyes. And of course, if you cannot lay down for some reason, just relax in an office chair. Otherwise, laying down, of course, is better in this case here, because that's how I design, this guided meditation. Because, if you're sick, you don't even want to, or if you're depressed, you don't even want to sit up, right? So this is a courtesy to you. Okay, and we ask that everything that happens here in this guided meditation, and then as a result of this guided meditation, is for our highest good, and is also in divine harmony, and with the most benevolent outcomes for us. Make sure you agree with this. This is for you. State your intent. State your intent. And we ask that we be guided and protected, so that nothing dark or inappropriate can come to us, through us, or be exchanged between us, or can come between us. So we like to have protection there. Sacred realms, guardians, sacred guardians of love and light, etc., etc. Amen. And now, just smile as much as you can. Many of you, don't feel like smiling, but, try as much as you can. Because if you frown, you're surely not going to get much love. It's impossible to send somebody love. I mean, you can send it, but they're not going to receive the love. I show this many times. So, and so we invoke, Mother Earth to just put your direction, below you. And smile to her. And we ask her to assist us. Yeah, we're going through a lot of transformation. We need help by big, big, big mommy here. And so we ask her to send us, roots that go all over us, like a protection, like a cocoon. This for this meditation. And smile, and with your inhale, just open yourself up to that, the energy that's surrounding you. And of course, we ask the spirit guides and absolute source to make sure that this is really Mother Earth and not just some imposter of the Matrix. Amen, amen, amen. And so, this nice warm feeling is surrounding you now, yeah. And you smile like a little baby. You try to now just pull this beautiful love, into your spine on the inhale. Just fill your spine with this. And then let go. And pull more in. And just keep pulling that love into yourself till you overflow. And we ask then for Mother Earth to take, whatever is not good for us. The dark emotions from others, their judgment, their gossip. Please take that away from us now. And you start feeling lighter. And then also please clear from us all the emotions that we picked up, commuting. Whether it's in a taxi or a subway or a bus or at the highway or a train, or having to walk and struggle through a bad neighborhood, who knows? Again, and there's traffic, anger, frustration. All these emotions we pick up from the environment by the osmosis. Please, Mother Earth, be kind to us and clear these dark energies and thought forms from us as much as we can do right now. And just inhale her love. And then just let go. And just naturally it will just flow into her. And you go back and forth between you and Mother Earth. And there's probably a lot of trauma, in you from life experiences, maybe even from this lifetime and past lifetime. That blocks your proper Earth connection. This could be anything from broken coccyx or broken feet, bastonade, impalement, rape, portals, dark technologies, astral chastity belt, whatever it is. We like to have cleared this now as much as possible. Also portals, and shackles, and slave colors. Also entity attachments and that are either residing there or that have attached to you through anchoring. This could be cords or little portals or tentacles. You like to have those clear too. Nobody has permission to feed off us. Amen, amen, amen. And as this beautiful energy from Mother Earth flows in your mind, Thank you. I thank you. Now when you send your energy back to the earth, goddess, out your back, think, I love you. So just by inhaling, I thank you, and then exhale, I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Go back and forth. And if you can, breathe deeper. Breathe as much as you can, all the way in, all the way out. And smile like an idiot. And you might even feel a tingling in you. Good. And now we also ask from Mother Earth, to either replenish or return to you, all your energies that are still with other people, sick people or vampiristic people, ex-lovers, children, bosses, co-workers, even places or projects. So please, find all these energies and purify them and then return them to us, our soul energies, for our highest good and divine harmony with the most benevolent outcomes. Amen. Deep breathing, and it takes about 5 seconds to kick in. So when you receive that love from Mother Earth, in your mind you think, I love you in gratitude. And then you send your love down. So you go back and forth and pull all the strength that you need from her. And do so in gratitude. That works the best. Nice, sweet gratitude. Sweet smiles. That really works the best. And now we also ask Mother Earth for forgiveness. Many lifetimes we probably cursed the lands of our enemies or hurt Mother Earth in warfare or through greed, cutting down forests, whatever it is. We like to be forgiven for this. We want to be in best relationship with Mother Earth from now on. Pretty please. Amen. And we asked Absolute Source to please transmute any dark karma. This can be cleared now with Mother Earth. Please clear this now, so we can have a perfect relationship with our Earth Mother. Amen, amen, amen. And if there are any dissonances between us and Mother Earth, we like to have those cleared now. And we ask that our ley line, and we ask that our grounding cords and grounding roots be brought to the perfect ley lines and crystal grids and other energy matrix in our area. Healing energies. And we call on the divine beings that live in the earth to assist us in our upgrading and purification and balance. To to assist us in shedding what is no longer needed. And we also ask that any resistances towards transformation into the higher vibrational realities, that they also be cleared and transmuted now for our highest good. Just agree every time in your mind. And there are probably also dark portals in you, dark cords, through which your energies get contaminated. We like to have those cleared now. Amen. Also, if somebody does karma dumping us or projects their anger onto us, we like to have that cleared too. Ooh, yeah, deep. Breathe as much as you can. You smile as much as you can. Or you just let go. Now just send on the exhale your love down to Mother Earth. And then wait how she responds through her network of roots around you, you beautiful cocoon that she has made around you. Yeah. And we also ask that she comes through your navel only for the highest good and under supervision for your high self. Balancing your emotions, your intestines, your intestinal organs, yeah. Ooh. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And just thank her in your mind. And again, we asked all our spirit guides, especially the subterranean aspects, again to ground us, to balance us, to heal us, to refresh our body, and to help our body to release the toxins that are still in the way, whether it's astral toxins or physical toxins, please. Amen. And we also ask for a scanning of our DNA to make sure that there are no viral dark coding that affecting our health, sabotaging us. Okay. And now let us align your subtle bodies, the physical, astral, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies. They should all be aligned. So now imagine that there is a laser going through your heart from Milky Way galaxy, going through your heart all the way to the center of the Earth. It's about 30 centimeter wide, about 1 foot wide. Very good. And now imagine that there's another laser that also goes to the heart, but which goes, through the head and out the bottom of your spine from infinity. Crossing this one in your heart. Visualize that. And then hold those in mind, and now imagining another laser crossing these ones, but from left to right or right to left, the infinity. So you have basically a 3D coordinate system, in your heart, hooking you into infinity. Yeah. Now you probably feel, how everything aligns, snaps into place. Very good. Oh, yeah. And we ask that any programs or trauma that keeps our subtle bodies out of alignment or brings them out of alignment, entities, energies, whatever it is, to be cleared now. Amen. 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 And we also asked if possible that any gargoyles or ghosts that have attached to us be made visible and then brought to the proper, Arcturian love healing and ascension temples or the courts of divine justice, depending on their attitude. Those teams know what to do, just give permission. There you go. If you feel lighter now and this stuff floating out the top of the head or flying away from you, that is why. Thank you. And also any anchors or backup systems through which your energies were vampired or contaminated, we like to have those clear too, throughout all the timelines, throughout all the dimensions and lifetimes. Amen, amen, amen. And now we call on all the aspects of our soul that are helpful now for our incarnation, whether they're ET aspects of our soul that are of love and light and wisdom, or shamans from Earth's life, or Atlantean aspects, or Lemurian aspects, priests, healers, witches, whoever is, for the highest good for you. We ask now to come, also your totem animals that love you, and the plant devas that love you and support you, and ancestors that are aligned, and with your goals, divine goals, of course, your dharma, and that are capable and approved by your high self. We invite them all to do a healing on us. Balance, healing, update. Amen, amen, amen. Recharge. And then also please clear any tears and holes in our force field, in anchors and other ways, Trojan horses, through which other beings and people still can get to us. Make it safe. Amen, amen, amen. Yeah, and now we asked, of course, that we be surrounded by our spirit guides and helpers, and we be go into a healing sleep or go around our daily work. Yes, whatever is for the highest good. Amen. And again, we asked that anything inappropriate or dark that came to us or through us while we were, under in a more susceptible way, that this be cleared. Any leftovers also, anything improper that has been transferred in any way, clear, 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 clear. Your energies goes back to you, my energies goes back, my energies go Your energies go back to you, my energies go back to me. And you go on snoozing now, going to healing realms in your astral body, or you go out, sit in the sun, go to places where you get rejuvenated, and do things that satisfy your soul. And 1, 2, 3, you're fully reintegrated, protected, and back in waking day consciousness again. Welcome back to this reality. I hope you had a good time. I hope you feel better now. If you have enough energy, maybe give me a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment of, how this meditation helped to you. Subscribe if you can, if you want to, maybe ring the bell and refer me to your friends. I have about 350 videos by now on my channel regarding different topics. A lot of this will resonate with you and help you tremendously. It's free, and also you can book Zoom sessions with me, very reasonably priced. Just check out the information below, and like always, hang on in there. I love you a long time.